thought I just heard a me. Yes, you. I want to know your name. Show yourself! Alrighty. Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 2 of Ghost Hunt Debrief, where we go over all the evidence from the last episode of Ghost Hunt where we went to the Metropolitan State Hospital.
That was a scary one.
It was a pretty creepy one, especially since there was a lot of real life history that went into it, and luckily we will be going into that in this episode. I'd just like to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Will. I'm the creator of the GHOUL Boys and Ghost Hunt, one of your lead investigators, and this right here is...
I'm Dante, and I am the... what would you say? The lead camera operator?
Yeah, another lead investigator and the lead camera operator.
I don't talk much.
Yeah, you should though.
And
Tristan is also another one of our lead investigators, but as you can tell, he is not here this weekend. He's actually away on vacation with his girlfriend. But who we do have with us, we'd like you to give a warm welcome to the newest member of the GHOUL Boys, JAREN'S. Woo!
What's up, guys? Good to be back and officially a member of the GHOUL Boys.
Hell yeah, brother. We're happy to have you.
Happy to have you, brother.
And I'd just like you to give yourself a little introduction to the channel. And
well, as you guys know, my name is Jaren. Will, thank you for the introduction. And where I stand on ghosts is I'm more of a see it to believe it kind of guy. I need like visual confirmation. I like hearing things, and it's just not enough for me. Like I need to see it with my own eyes. Like I'm sure most people are.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much where I stand.
Hell yeah. That's honestly a very, very valid place to stand, and I was honestly the same way until I had a few circumstances of my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like I don't believe that there's like ghosts aren't real or whatever. It's just I haven't seen them, so I can't confirm nor deny it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And with that out of the way, why don't we get into that first point you have there, Jaren? What's that first piece of evidence or debunk that you'd like us to get into?
The timestamp is 7:59. We hear what we think is "you all." I can't really make it out. I played it back like half a dozen times, and I couldn't make anything out of it.
Yeah. Why don't we give that a listen and see if we can clarify that up, or honestly see if you're 100% right on that, because you could be. Let's give that a listen.
Some weird interference. Yeah.
Is the Shadow Man present with us? I heard you all.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Jaren, because there is some static afterwards too. To me, it did sound pretty pronounced in person, and I honestly thought it was going to show up more on the recording. Yeah. It didn't. Hopefully, I can get it a little bit more when I edit it and post a little bit more, because that's just boosted audio from our microphones. But I completely agree with you.
Even with the boosted audio, I couldn't make anything out, but I mean, you had the spirit box in your hand, you were there, so you would know better than I.
Yeah. And I'm not discounting you at all, by the way, because that 100% could just be radio interference. But what's that next timestamp you got for us?
The next timestamp is 9:24. You think you hear why, but to me, all I hear is static. It's kind of like the last one, where we can kind of hear like a high frequency change into the radio signal. This one's kind of just like a stagnant kind of same tone all the way through.
Alrighty, interesting. Let's give that a listen.
Do you know how long you've been trapped here? I heard a why. That was the dog in the background.
No, it was from the radio.
Yeah, no,
it's like every song, man. It's just like you can barely make it out.
Yeah, it's just really quiet.
Barely make it out.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody going like, why? Let's give that one more listen, because I want to listen to that a little bit more closely. Yeah, it's pretty 50-50 for me.
Do you know how long you've been trapped here? I heard a why. That was the dog in the background.
It was click on it.
It was just really funny to me because it was definitely through the spirit box, and then Tristan goes, "Sounds like it was a dog in the background."
In the background.
And I was like, "Dude, the spirit box is in my ear."
Spirit box is literally in my hand, sir.
The dog park, for reference, is about 300 yards behind us.
And where Tristan is
Behind
pointing
the
in the
building.
video
Is
not
next to us in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, I feel like that could have been like another one of those timely things.
Yes.
Where, like us as humans, we are subconsciously trained to receive timely answers to things, I suppose.
Yes, 100%. And it might have just been a circumstantial thing where it was just a radio cutting in at that exact moment.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
But to us, since
that's what I think it was.
yeah, and that's completely valid coming from somebody who's more on the skeptic side of the ghost and the paranormal. But for us, since we're out there searching for evidence outright, it's kind of hard for us to like dismiss something.
Right,
when it's like you understand from our point of view, and we understand from your point of view.
Right.
It's just
you guys collect the evidence at any piece, no matter how small.
Exactly.
It's something important.
It's something because it can build to something. It's like the straw that broke the camel's back.
What a saying.
Exactly.
You know.
You went to college.
But what's the next timestamp you got for us, brother?
The next timestamp I got is it's a clip. Actually, it's 9:49 to 9:55. We hear something that's like kind of unintelligible that we think could maybe be home, but then the whatever it was kind of doubled down and like repeated itself, and we hear home the second time around.
Right. Yes. No, I remember this. It was right on the front porch of the admin building, right above where the padded room was downstairs. And at first it sounded like a male voice saying home, and then the second one came in, and well, why don't we just play it?
Yeah, we'll just play it.
Is this your home?
Was that a home?
Home or no, but that could have been.
I heard something. That was a female saying home.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. The first one, it sounded like it like cut out the H a little bit, but you could hear the om.
Yeah, you could
Like,
hear the end of it. Very
and we were like, was that like a no, or was that a home?
Yeah, exactly. And as far as evidence goes that you guys collected, I feel like this is definitely one of the more compelling ones for sure for me. as a
Yeah.
skeptic.
And thank you, Jared, for pointing that out, because it literally, like you said earlier, it literally like doubled down and said home again, more clearly.
And we hear these two voices a lot throughout the video too. These two same voices.
The male voice and the female voice especially.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up, Jared, and I really liked your insight on that one. What's that next timestamp you got for us?
The next time slot we got is 13:58. We hear an eerie, like, kind of come closer. This isn't really a debunk. This is more something like I can't explain. I kind of just thought it was really creepy because this is like right after Tristan was talking about torture.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it's like a really faint, like sinister, like come closer.
Yeah. This was still over by the vault room too, which is very interesting because that vault padded room was where we assume a lot of the torture and discipline went down.
Right, yeah.
But why don't we give that a little run back from 1348.
Vault room.
If it said like torture after that, I would have been like, oh my lord.
Did anything bad happen to you down in that basement?
Yeah, that was definitely a weird one, and we honestly didn't hear that on scene either.
No.
When I heard that in post, I was like, how did we not notice that?
Yeah, it was really creepy.
Yeah, like the come closer, it's like, come closer.
It was like sinister, yeah, like kind of playful, but it was, I don't know, it was really creepy. I didn't like it.
That was a very, I didn't like it very much either, Jared. And that was a great way to put it, like sinister but playful, like the inflection that they had on it. It was creepy, but it was like almost like they were trying to be childlike.
Exactly.
Maybe it was a demon.
I mean, yeah, it could be
because they like to mimic
children. Anything else you want to add to that, Jared?
No, yeah, I just thought it was really creepy. I don't know. Especially like right after Tristan talking about torture, you guys being right outside is what we assumed to be the torture chamber. As far as what went on in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Just thought it was really creepy and good to add.
Definitely really creepy, and I really appreciate you bringing that up for us, Jaren. What's that next timestamp you got for us?
The next time slot is 21:10. We hear murder very clearly, and I think we can all agree with that.
I'm gonna give it a little run up from 2104. Let's see if we're all hearing the same thing that we heard and Jaren heard, where it says murder in the spirit box.
Did you have friends or family that sent you here?
Whoa. That was a deeper, clearer voice.
Well, it sounded like he said murder.
Yeah, and I mean, even Dante heard it right on scene. He was the first one to recognize
Clear
it.
as day. I mean,
Yeah, and again, it's that same male voice that we heard earlier.
Yeah, 100%, Jared. That's a really great point. It sounds very, very similar to the voice that we heard on the front porch. And this, for reference, is on the back of the building now, over by where the library was.
Yeah, so it's like no matter where you guys were, it's just that same female or similar female and similar male voice. It seemed to follow you guys wherever you went.
Especially once we got to the cemetery as well.
Yeah.
But what's that next timestamp you got for us, Sharon?
Next one we got is 3542. We hear "we died" pretty clearly.
3542. If I'm not mistaken, this is at the cemetery.
It is.
I'm gonna go to 3528.
Were you locked in rooms at times for bad behavior?
Whoa.
Oh, it's tough to make out.
Yeah, that one. I mean, it's pretty. It's a little bit quieter, but you can pretty much hear it pretty clear.
Yeah,
It's just
you
tough to
can
make
definitely
out.
hear that it's said. But as far as evidence, once again, I think that's one of the more compelling ones to me.
Yeah. Thank you, Jared.
For sure.
Especially since we're at the graveyard.
And it seemed like almost immediate response to Tristan's question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Why don't we give that one more playback?
Were you locked in rooms at times for bad behavior?
Whoa.
Yeah, right after Tristan said, "Were you locked in rooms for bad behavior?" He goes, "We died."
We died.
And it's pretty timely that we were in the middle of the cemetery right as we got that answer as well.
To me, I can make that out pretty clearly. The "we died." I can make that out pretty clearly.
Yeah, 100%. What's that next time slot you got for us, brother?
It's 3703. This is when we hear two different responses. We hear "I think I did" from a man's voice and "no" from a woman's voice to the question, did you have a conversation with Ann Davies?
Right. We'll run it from 3650. Let's give that a listen.
Are there any other patients here that had a personal conversation with Ann Davey?
That was a no.
I heard that.
Was Ann Davey a...
Yeah, that was crazy. The "I think I did" and the "no," especially the second one, that came through so clearly.
I think once again, for me, it's another one of these compelling pieces of evidence that you guys collected because it's, again, the similar voices and, they came through pretty clear as day to me.
Yeah, and
I agree with that.
Right after we brought up Ann Davey as well. We heard the
exactly.
female voice once again. Jared, those were honestly some really great points that you brought up. I really loved the debunk points that you brought up. They were great. It honestly opened my mind a little bit more to when I went into this video when I was editing it, especially after the first debrief. I was listening more because there were a few moments in the first one where I put unintelligible, but when I listened back, I was like, oh, that could just be like rhythmic static hitting next to each other. So when I went into the second episode, I really tried to pay more attention to that because of your input, and I really, really appreciate that, Jaren.
Of course. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Especially the points that that you can't really explain. Like, you don't necessarily think it's ghosts, but you can't necessarily say it's not. It's just
Yeah, can't confirm nor deny, but you know, we definitely hear something. What it is?
Yeah, and the timing of it most of the time too, because we were getting a lot of quick responses, and trust me, I know that we need to work on giving them a little bit more time to respond. Yeah. We've been working on it a little bit.
What's this we slander?
Yeah, it's mostly the man that's not here right now.
He who shall know, whoever that guy is.
Whoever that one guy is. We'll cut to his photo here. Probably an embarrassing one. Alrighty, now Tristan has a few moments that he wanted us to go over with Jaren, and the first one is when we were under the tree at the cemetery.
So in this one, I mean, it's clear as day. You hear it, I hear it. Psst. It's trying to get our attention. Whatever spirit it is, I mean, you can't deny that. That's clear. Crystal clear.
So why don't we give that a listen right here.
Whoa. Dude, that was...
Yeah.
That was pretty, like, clear as day.
I don't...
It was, like, right next to the camera.
Yeah.
I don't like this job anymore.
It was honestly probably up to this point the creepiest moment that we've caught on.
I don't like this job anymore.
on
I
film.
don't like working here anymore. I need a new goddamn profession.
Yeah, it really felt to us
out.
that they were trying to scare us at that point.
That's when you got aggressive.
I was feeling a little bit aggressive.
You were getting a little steppy with it.
I was
standoffish.
Yeah, dude, I was feeling the pressure. All right, now in this next clip that Tristan's sending in, we hear what we thought at the time was the light. So we started talking about the camera light. But why don't I run Tristan's video and he'll give a little bit more context on that.
So in this clip, you hear the spirit come in and says, "Got a light?" Me and Will instantly start questioning, what does it mean by that? Is it the light on the camera? The light outside because it's daytime? We talked about it a little further, like down the road, and we came to the conclusion, maybe it's asking about like a cigarette, like a lighter, asking the guard, hey, got a light? But what do you guys think?
And now that we got that out of the way, why don't we get into the video a little bit and give it a listen.
Name. Was that the light? The light on the camera?
No. I heard him say the light.
Yeah. I'm saying, maybe. Do you not like the light shining?
I'm not turning it off.
Is the light bothering you? You said it's fine.
All right, well.
Yeah. So, we caught the ghost saying, got a light, which we interpreted as, like, the camera light because we have a big LED light on top of the camera for lighting. We thought that maybe it was bothering them, but when we went in and post, it sounded like got a light, like a prisoner asking for a lighter because they would have cigarettes, but they wouldn't give them lighters.
Yeah.
And then we asked if the light is bothering them, and then we got a response, it's fine. Both pretty immediate responses. Jaren, what'd you think about that clip?
You want to play it back for me one more time?
Yeah, of course. We'll run it from 49:23.
Any of the younger or older spirits here with us, would you like to tell us your name? Was that the light? The light on the camera?
No. I heard him say the light.
Yeah. I'm saying, maybe. Do you not like the light shining?
I'm not turning it off.
Is the light bothering you? You said it's fine.
All right, well.
So what'd you think about that, Jaren?
It's pretty hard to... I don't know.
The "it's fine" is a lot more faint. I will 100% agree with you on that. But the got a light is
The
pretty.
got a light, yeah, I heard that. I definitely heard that.
Pretty clear.
Not, it's fun. It's fine or it's fire or whatever.
Yeah.
It said.
It could be a phrase getting cut off or radio interference or something like that. But to me, it sounds like I asked literally, is the light bothering you?
He's like, it's fine.
It said it's fine.
It's alright.
And also, I was just thinking about that when we were replaying the clip when we were asking for their name and they said got a light. It kind of reminds me of how back in the day, a lot of people, when they were getting questioned, they wouldn't start talking until they had a cigarette.
Very true.
Right.
And
you know what? That's a pretty good point.
It's very true.
We were asking a lot of questions.
And the guy was just like, dude.
Like imagine if somebody came in to your place of residence randomly with a camera and lights.
Yeah.
And was just like...
asking just a bunch of questions.
Asking how you died... all these personal questions. What's your name? Like,
you gotta give the guy a cigarette first.
Yeah, he might be stressed out. He might need a cigarette.
Gotta give the guy a little smoke.
I'd be stressed out.
I was stressed out when I was behind the camera.
Yeah, you're telling me I was on camera.
You were asking the question.
So unfortunately, for Tristan's last piece of evidence that he wanted us to cover, our cameras actually malfunctioned and didn't capture any of the video. But fortunately for you, this is our best piece of evidence from the video.
So this one, I think, is crystal clear. That's kids laughing. Creepy as heck. I mean, you can't even deny that.
Now, let's get to the video and see if you hear the kids laughing the same as we did.
Are you young or old?
Were you harmed or did you harm yourself? Was that laughing? That sounded like Are there children?
That was literally children laughing, dude.
Did you hear that the same as us? It sounded exactly like a group of kids laughing. Or maybe something demonic pretending to be a child. Why don't we give that one more listen?
Are you young or old?
Were you harmed or did you harm yourself? Was that laughing? That sounded like Are there children?
That was literally children laughing, dude.
That's not something you hear on the radio. Now that, to everyone here at the Ghoul Boys, is our top pick for best evidence from the whole hunt. Was that the spirits of the children that passed away in their care and were buried in unmarked graves and thought to be forgotten about? Were they trying to communicate with us? Let us know what you think. But for now, let's get into the true horrors that went down at the Metropolitan State Hospital. So in this episode, we obviously went to the Metropolitan State Hospital in Waltham, Massachusetts, which at the time was one of the largest state hospitals in the country, and it opened its doors for construction in 1927 and shut down in 1992. There were rumors circulating for decades about mistreated patients and inmates over at the Metropolitan State Hospital, but little did we know the actual horror of what went down there. One of the main interests that brings people to this building is surrounding the rumor of the murder that went down there. And in the original rumor, which we touched on in the video, or Tristan actually touched on, the rumor consisted of a nurse being murdered by an inmate and them finding her jaw in his belongings in his room. But fortunately for us, I went to the Waltham Library and got in touch with their reference librarian, and she got me some case files and some articles from when the incident actually occurred. So we have the actual true story, and here it is. So here's the true story of what actually happened that fateful day at the Metropolitan State Hospital. The actual murder took place on August 9th, 1978 at the Metropolitan State Hospital located in Waltham, Massachusetts. The woman's name? Anne Marie Davee, an inmate and not a nurse like the rumor had initially stated. and her remains weren't actually found until almost 2 years after her suspected disappearance, only to be publicized during the spring of 1979 during a state Senate probe of unexplained deaths at state institutions. Anne Marie Davey was 36 when she seemingly disappeared from the facility in 1978. She had spent over half of her life at facilities just like this one throughout Massachusetts and Maine. Who knows the horrors she had seen even before stepping foot inside the Met in Waltham. But what we do know is what follows. The body of Anne Marie Davey was found by investigators on the property of the hospital, buried in about 3 or 4 different holes along the building's property. And it was originally not determined how she passed away, but the Attorney General's office claimed the death as a homicide. The murderer, named Melvin Wilson, who is a current patient at the Bridgewater State Hospital and a former patient of the Metropolitan State Hospital, was arrested by state police in connection with the death of Anne Davey and brought to Waltham District Court, where the court decided to send him back to Bridgewater to see if he is fit to serve trial. Wilson was a mental patient for over 40 years and was 57 when he was eventually caught. The discovery and arrest came at the end of an 8-month-long investigation led by the state police, but over 2 years after she initially went missing. A former senator named Jack H. Bachman, who headed the statewide probe into the mysterious deaths at state institutions, complained that at the time, 7 of the woman's teeth were found in October 1978 in the possession of another patient, a man who turned out to be one of her former friends, which could have been extracted after the death, but the lead ended up going nowhere and not explored by the mental institution or reported to police at the time. During a search for the woman on October 4th, 1978, led by the hospital staff members reportedly found a hatchet in a pocketbook that apparently had also belonged to Anne Marie Davey. The report also stated the pocketbook contained sunglasses, photographs, and was tied up in a bundle with scraps of the woman's skirt, pieces of cloth, and a zippered case. And the police didn't get involved until December 1979, over a year later. Why was all of this evidence hidden? And why didn't they contact Anne's family or the police sooner?
All right, thank you guys for sticking around this long into the debrief. I really want to say thank you from all of us over here. And if you made it this far, just drop a comment down below. Maybe drop a like and subscribe too if you enjoyed the content here. And we will be sure to have another hunt to you in probably the next week or two.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. And hopefully Tristan will be back by then. And we just really want to say thank you and thank everybody for giving Jaren a warm welcome to the Ghoul Boys.
Welcome to the Ghoul Boys, Jared.
Good to be here. Good to be a member. And I can't wait to come back in March. Maybe I can actually get a hunt in with you guys, not just a debrief.
Hell yeah, brother. We can't wait, dude.
I can't wait for that.
Because hopefully we'll be hitting a special location when you're here. I'm not going to release where yet, but it's going to be a fun one. But with that being said, thank you for joining the debrief, and we'll see you in the next hunt.
From full conversations to names, did you hear the same evidence as we did? Did we really converse with the spirit of Anne Davey? Or maybe the spirit of Melvin, who killed her? Or maybe even worse, were we contacting the Shadow Man? Let us know what you think in the comments. And we'll see you in the next one.
I just heard a me? Yes, you. I want to know your name.
Show yourself!